All right, here we're here on this extra close to the camera edition of hate mail, transgender hate mail, homosexual hate mail, atheist hate mail. Basically, me reacting to a bunch of screen caps on YouTube and email, all right, that are responsive comments I made against these deviant lifestyles and every other things. Trigger warning. Let's continue on here. Disturb my cat. She's sleeping. Where was I? Oh, Nietzsche's Choice, part 58. So let's go get it. What's this one? 52. 708. Okay, let's do this thing. This person getting it wrong. I'm trying to, I gotta correct him. Let's go. Someone says, now speaking of just being yourself, I saw you mention how every mind is unique. Yes, it's true. Therefore, people who are assigned female at birth, female, with brains traits similar to that of men, doesn't make them men. It makes them themselves, and vice versa. True. That just leads me to ask the question, surely that means gender identity is a spectrum? Well, yeah, it is. Identity is a spectrum. Yes. Yeah. Gender identity, no. Well, basically, the issue is people get things mixed up. The thing that they identify as a biology when you can't. You should not try. Person with ovary should not say she's male. Person with testicles should not say she's female. Say he's female. Gotta say it right. Not say he's female because those are lies. Ridiculous. So that's a different story. You could say, I like doing these things that stereotypically are male or stereotypically are female, but they are not really. You can say that. That's the truth. Don't be lying about your radical sex, though. Do you want to hear what's next? To me, that just leads me to ask a question. Surely what means gender identity is a spectrum. You being themselves doesn't mean there's identified gender binary. Gender binary, no. There's identity binary, no. It means they can express however they want. No. Expressing, basically means showing what you want people to see. If you are showing them deception, then that's lies and wrong. You should not do that. Next. Surely people's minds, actually, not brains. Being unique means you can never fully understand how their minds work. Yeah, I can understand that. There's right and wrong, and you're going wrong. You're going wrong. So sorry. You never understand how their minds work, and therefore cannot tell any trained non-binary person how their brains for you works, nor how they should identify bullcrap. As I can. You're doing lying. That's wrong. Stop it. Furthermore, you mentioned there were two genders, or sexes, male and female. Sexes, male and female, and that you're assigned gender at birth, assigned sex at birth. And I highly disagree. I highly disagree because sex and gender are not the same thing. Exactly. It's like gender at birth. It's also sociology, other people, and psychology, mental terms. Sex and gender are two different things. They aren't. Sex is the person's biology. Yes. What genes or genitalia the person was born with. True. Gender is a cultural and social, how a person actually identifies, their identity. Yes. Even then, there are two sexes, because I say there are, because there's intersex as well because of deformities, so it doesn't really count. Someone is born with atypical, meaning not typical, meaning deformed. Atypical genitalia or genetics, so basically deformity, not one of the two biological sexes that exist. So doesn't mean no deformity. Gender, as I previously mentioned, is a spectrum. Yes, identity. People got to know however they feel, yes, but you got to be careful about that stuff because there are people who are lying and saying there's male or female feelings when there are not. So let's continue on here. Next, you brought up that you think people should accept their bodies that God gave them. Yes, they should. Because they were made perfectly. I'd not say made perfectly. I said you should accept them, though. Well, first of all, not every person believes in the same God you do. For example, I am atheist. What? I thought you said you were religious. What? I remember that. Anyway. So not all people believe that everything is created perfect. That's what it goes. As someone who else in these replies mentioned, in Greek mythology, there's a story of how Apollo got drunk and created humans with the wrong genitalia. And we other Christians, even other Christians will disagree on this with you. Yeah, they're getting it wrong. Yes. I have trans friends, people lying friends, who's Christian lying, but he's lying, so he's going against the Bible. He has been out of trans to me. She, it's a trans for 5 years. Furthermore, you asked why people would change their body if they work perfectly. Let me tell you, the human body is not perfect. No, it's not, but it works fine. So you should change it. Don't just work perfectly. Sometimes that's what sickness is, diseases or deformity is actually, but no. People have mental illnesses because of chemical imbalances caused by bad diet, nutrition, bad diet, and other factors. So that doesn't mean you can't. You're supposed to change the way you look to fix that. No, you want to. People have chronic illnesses because of imperfect genetic code or because of bad diet. That's all I got. So no, we never change anything. People get cancer because the human body isn't perfect. No, because there's things there that will poison it and cause that stuff. So get that out of here. You can't tell people to love and accept their cancer because God made them that way. Different story. Next, that person found to want to do something about it. Somebody think applies to dysphoria, except for dysphoria is all mental, cancer is all physical. So they're not the same thing. Next, a person going to want to deal with it in a healthy way, or not a healthy way in this case. You also mentioned how transitioning is mutilating your body. It can be, yes, because of the last point. You also mentioned how once someone reaches a transition they wish to achieve, you think they'll be tempted to do more. Because it's said, wrong. This is not true, because I say it isn't. People have transitional surgeries in order to save off dysphoria, fear, the wrong way. Which, as we've mentioned, is an insecurity, because I say it isn't. It is. You see the next lines they say, what people, I want people to see me for who I am, not for what I look like, so they're insecure about what they look like. I know. Next. It's insecurity because I say it isn't. People can't just wish away. You can't wish that away. You fight against it throughout your life. Continue on here. You'll transition to have a body that fits their mind through lies. It's impossible for a body and a mind to fit. Because the body is physical. Mind is not physical. It's mental. Continue on. To present how they would like to present. Like, wrong. So I'm not sure how to present. I'm not going to assume it, but I say you prefer wearing trousers. Say you prefer wearing trousers to wearing skirts, but people refuse to allow that. How would that make you feel? That would be weird. How would you feel if people told you to resist the urge to do so? Because they think you look nicer in skirts. You can be wearing skirts. No. It's left up, because going against the Bible as well. So no. Anyway, finally, you talked about suicide and how people shouldn't choose to kill themselves if they're unhappy with their body. I vehemently agree that people shouldn't kill themselves and instead seek professional help. But you seem to misunderstand the situation of it. I like to tell you that the really trans people who kill themselves do so because of exactly what you're doing now, telling them the truth about what they should be doing. So they basically decide that they don't want to change, or they don't want to go through the hard process of basically learning to live with the body they have. Instead, so you say do the ultimate nope, against reality because they're fighting against reality all the whole time. So no, that's not right. Right, we should be doing that. Next, you're doing now. Tell the truth. People who invalidate their lies when they think they're doing what's best for the person. It makes sense you feel invalidated, unheard, unseen, unloved because they're lied to and they think that's what that does. Telling the truth does that to them. Collectors won't listen to acknowledge their struggles. Lies. So I encourage you to listen to trans white people about how they feel. It's worth them in their decision to feel comfortable in their own bodies through lies. No. Continue on here. I apologize for this being quite long. I just felt a full explanation was necessary for you. So thank you for reading thus far. Feel free to refute any point I've made. I'll try to continue to a friendly debate. I just appreciate if your arguments has some substance that I like. And we're not too repetitive in way, with this whole, stop sinning thing, stop lying thing, you keep doing that. We're telling you we're not lying. You keep saying we are, and giving us evidence that we are, over and over again, and just totally refuting our stuff. So could you stop doing that? Wait, no, there are only so many times I can argue against the same point that we can't get, that we can't defeat, basically. Point that we can't defeat. Can't defeat it. You were saying tell the truth. We're saying no. And you say saying stop lying. We're saying but if I don't want to. Thanks. Next. And someone else, because all you want is validation. I said, I respect your opinion. Also, you were correct. I respect your opinion. Also, it's your opinion is wrong, and you relate your body. So it's stupid. I'm like, hey, don't apologize for the comment being long. I loved reading it. That a-hole is completely wrong about the trans community because I say they are. As a gender fluid person myself, lying about your radical sex, I hate how that it's trying to seek for trans people and saying that trans individuals won't see that they aren't trans.